Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
Welcome everyone to the show. I'm your host, Don Vic. What's going on? What's the vibes? Y'all already know what's going on. Today we got a special guest coming on the show. She is an actress, executive film producer, among other things. This woman does it all. Okay, when I say does it all, does it all. Been in the industry for a long time. By the name of Kadrolsha Ona Carole. She'll be on the show in a few minutes, and we'll be talking to her and finding out exactly what she got going on and what she's done in the past and what she's doing now in the future. I'm excited. You know what I mean? This is the place. This is the place. This is the show where you find new talent, new faces, and new upcoming stars all the time. So make sure you tune in and share, because sharing is caring. You already know the vibes. Give me 1 second. Yes. Yo, here I'm starting my show. Let me call you back in a minute.
All right, I'm about to tune in.
All right, cool. And so, folks, big shout out to Parapost Network, Global Ghost Hunt, Team Raf, Paranormal Consultant, and the Wicked Queen. Big shout out to them. Guys, it's been a great week. We have some great guests here on the show. We got great other guests coming here on the show. And as you all know, I have my new show called the Don Vic Show Showdown Challenge. I do have a challenger ready to go, rock and roll for this challenge. I'm looking for one more challenger so we can start my new show and have some fun and maybe bring some prizes. Okay, so here I have my guest here on the panel, and I'm bringing her on so we can talk to her and find out exactly what she got going on, what she's been doing in the past, and what she's doing here in the future. Woo, boy. And so, boy, she has a big, her bio is unbelievable. It took me about 3 months to read it. Folks, took me about 3 months to read it. This woman has done so much in her career. I can't even catch up. Okay. So please, guys, welcome Kadrolsha Ona Carole to the show, please. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good on this rainy Sunday up here in New Hampshire.
Oh, you're not far from me. I'm in Boston, actually.
Oh my goodness gracious! What about an hour and maybe 10 minutes or so?
Yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah, really cool. Now that I know where you live.
Yeah, you're on my side. You're on the East Coast. Yay!
Yes.
Awesome. So I want to thank Mickey Solar for making this happen.
Yes, thank you, Mickey.
Mickey is an amazing woman. She was on my show as well.
Yes.
Along with Martin and some other people she sent my way, and she is amazing. So tell me about your career, because when I read your bio, I was like, wait a minute. She is the first person to have a comic book played as a superhero.
Well, actually, I've had a long career. I don't even know where to start.
Tell me about it. Okay. I didn't know where to start.
So I love working. I love working in the entertainment industry. It's a lot of fun. You have to be creative, and you just got to keep going. People ask me, what are you going to do when you get older? Are you going to retire? And I'm like, well, No, entertainers never retire. They just die on stage, I think. Something like that.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah, so gosh, I started with the paranormal,
Right.
just born into it with about 7 generations of grandmothers, great grandmothers. So my babcha, my stara babka, which is an older grandmother, and then in Poland and in Russia, and all of their had gifts, let's say. And so I just kind of thought this was all normal to have. And so I use them all the time. I use my gifts all the time. And then, people took notice. And then before you know it, I decided, well, I worked for Ghost Stories of New England. That was a
Yeah.
wonderful thing to do with television. We did like local cable access. And then I became Cece the Huntress, which I like that a little better. And I was able to put that on cable access, which is different from local. This is actually on cable. And in a whole bunch of areas, which is just like with CNN or MSNBC or Fox, they each have a channel. I had a channel. They had to pay for it though, but I had a channel there, and through federal regulations, at that time, they didn't want to give me the company, the cable company didn't want to give me the reduced rate because I was individual, but the federal government told them they had to. So they had to make room for me and a channel, and that was wonderful for a while. And then I went on local, it wasn't regional like cable, which was like all over the 6 states of New England. So I call it New England cable. And so I went that route with a show called The Everything Show. We had some ghost hunting, and we had, business highlights and just fun stuff. It was a fun time for everybody involved. And then I decided I would trademark my Queen of the Paranormal, which was the best financial move I have ever made. And when I did that, oh, hell broke loose, baby. You have everybody and their mother screaming how horrible I am because I decided I wanted to trademark. But, they had the grandfather of the paranormal, the grandmother of the paranormal, every other goddamn paranormal, I don't know what. But
There's so many.
God forbid I could be queen of the paranormal. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe you should have just trademarked it. Would that be a lot simpler than making fun of me? But to this day, they haven't. So I'm here doing comic books and a whole bunch of other things. And as far as the comic book goes, I was in a Comic-Con called Comic-Con from Omaha, Nebraska. And it was a fun place. I met Charles Moyasset from Phoenix Entertainment Publication. And through him, I got to meet Brian K. Morris, who's an author. And Charles had asked me if I wanted to be in a comic book. And I told him, well, yeah, like who wouldn't be, right? So,
Hello.
Stupid question. You gotta give a great answer. Yeah. So, but I said I had one thing I wanted to keep, to people to know. I want to do what I do between the pages of a comic book. I don't want to be made over. I want these things to be what I do. And with that, Brian Morris, who is a comic historian for many, many years now, got a hold of me and he says, you're not going to believe this, but you are the first person in comic book history to be a superhero doing what you do between the pages of a comic book. And from there, the rest is history. We've got a bunch of comic books out, and we're doing a whole bunch of new things with ghosts, celebrity ghost hunters, and just really, being creative and pushing all of that forward.
Right. So when you got into the paranormal, was that because you had an experience with the paranormal that caught your attention, or was it something that, you just gradually went into it?
Well, I would have to say I was born into it, and I thought everybody was like me. And I soon found out that they weren't. I was able to, foresee things. I was able to do dream interpretations,
Mm.
and spirit communication. And I was ridiculed for it as a young girl, junior high and high school, until their parents would pull me aside and ask me questions. And I would give them an honest, frank answer, and it was true. And in fact, just the other day, I made a bet with somebody. We were discussing a situation. I can't tell you what it is.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
get in trouble. But we just had this discussion, and I said, "I'll make a bet. I know for a fact this happened." Well, how do you know that? I just know it. Call it psychic ability. And lo and behold, the next morning, bang, there it was. I was right. So even to this day, I still use whatever gifts that God gave me and pass down from my relatives. And I, use it that way. I'm fairly accurate. I don't think anybody is 100% accurate, but I do all right with that. And
Yeah.
that's how the paranormal started. And of course, being interested in the paranormal, I wanted to do more, and I would lecture on it, and I would do videos on it with Ghost Stories of New England. And then I decided I wanted a TV show, which I created myself, called Cece the Huntress. My kids and I, we all sat around a back porch at a table. And what are we going to call this character? Well, how's she going to look? How's she going to dress? All this stuff. And we were able to nail it down. And then we would go off with my son and I, and we would film it. I would edit it. We had no music to it. We did not do any fancy editing because we wanted you to see it the way it actually was and hear it the way it was.
Right.
And so we did great with that. And then, of course, I decided to trademark Queen of the Paranormal, which is not a carbon copy of Cece the Huntress, but pretty darn close as far as wardrobe and things like that.
Have you ever had a bad experience, a paranormal experience?
No,
Uh,
never.
no.
Yeah, that's all. Save that for the TV shows. And
Carol,
that's something that they made up. I don't know, but honestly, it is so rare to freaking laugh and look at you, dog.
yeah, no, see, you're something else. I tell you.
Oh my God. So, anyways, it is very, very rare that something horrible happens. Unless you've got a problem with, you might have a syndrome like, Munchausen's by proxy or Munchausen's yourself. You're looking for attention, 15 minutes of fame, just, and so it is very rare. Obviously, it does happen, but it's so rare and far between that's why a lot of people like to embellish. And you've got to remember, television shows are for entertainment value. I think that for the most part, they can get people interested in the paranormal and join a team and all of that. But you can't fit in 5 to 8 days worth of filming a TV show into 1 freaking hour and get a ghost every time. Like they come out and say boo on command. Come
Right.
on. Come on. It's just, it's an insult to anybody that has an intelligence. That's how I look at it. And that's probably why they all hate me.
Well, it's funny because I do have a lot of paranormal investigative friends, and they go out and then investigate, and they honest with it. They say sometimes we go out, we get nothing, and sometimes we go and it's active.
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
So many things. So I can see that. Someone that's creating a paranormal film. If it's based on true events, they have to be out there for a long, long time to get some activity to record to make it, look real or whatever the case may be.
Sure. And of course, the networks, you're under a lot of pressure. They're spending money and you better produce. You don't know how you're going to produce it. We don't really care. Just produce something, so that's what they do. Right. And I've been involved in many of that. And when the pandemic hit, I and a gentleman friend of mine decided, we put our heads together, and we decided to come up with Hollywood Entertainment News, which has just taken off like crazy.
Mm.
Hollywood Entertainment News right now is in the top 50 web programs in the world.
Oh, wow.
And
Congratulations.
I got that honor from Hollywood 411 magazine, sent to me. I almost fell over, but I'm like, whoa, because see, we're not just on YouTube. YouTube is great.
Right.
It is. It's a good place to put things, you know, and
Right.
keep there. But we're part of the international digital signage market, which means grocery stores, we're in gas stations, fast food restaurants,
Right.
liquor stores, you know, and at the mall, the great big signage that comes down. So we market a little bit different, and we're international, and we're also at airports. And going back to the paranormal, I was the first person ever to have a program on airport TV. And of course that pissed everybody off too, because you know, we got blonde hair and blue eyes. I guess I should be stupid. I don't know. But I like to consider myself a very hardworking, knowledgeable businesswoman, and with good business skills, you're able to accomplish a lot.
Yes.
And that's where people, they're just like dumbfounded. How is all this luck coming to her? Well, it's called hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of luck, networking,
Especially networking, hardworking, you know, and then I always say, you know, you got what you got because you put in the work. You know,
that's true. And you also, when you're networking, you're worth your salt. That old expression. You're trustworthy. You're reliable.
right.
If they ask you something to do something, you do it.
Do it.
And you keep your word. This is extremely important. And so over the years, I've been able to foster great relationships, not just with television people that I interview and get positive statements from, but from networking with producers, movie companies, and investment firms, and just people that have probably nothing to do with the movies, but just keeping your word. And you know, they'll recommend you for something.
Yes.
And I don't broadcast all of that, you know, on the social media. So when I do something and it does come out, it kind of shocks people, like, I didn't know that. Oh my God. And well, you know, I'm busy working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, I have to, you know, support my family and
Right.
my animals. So it all works out.
Right. And, you know, and that's why I like bringing guests to my show that are behind the scenes, because, you know, the people behind the scene make the magic, right? They make things happen, and they don't get exposed enough or talked about enough to know who's the brilliant person behind this project that's making this happen. Is usually the actor that we talk about, bringing the character to life, but not really actually the directors and the people behind, the executive producers that are behind doing the hard work. And so
that's true.
Right. And so when a person like yourself come and you say these things and you're doing these things, people be like, oh, wait, I didn't know. I thought she was just in the back producing.
Yeah, either producing or sitting pretty in front of the camera, smiling or whatever. But to even get to that point takes a lot of hard work.
Yes.
I mean, you know how many hours it takes to put this makeup on? People just don't get it. They just think, oh, she wakes up looking like that.
Right.
But, yeah, so I like to go through life with humor and realism and common sense. You know, I see people, especially not so much in the entertainment industry or in the music industry, but I do see it a lot in the paranormal, where people will come up with like a concept, let's say, and they're pounding away at this concept of life after death and the brain and blah, 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 and the brain's alive when you're dead for so long. And I've heard it all, right? And so I'm hearing this stuff, and then the next thing I'm reading is the same person as like, I just died in the hospital. And I know for a fact that what I'm writing about consciousness of the brain, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, is
right,
real. And I'm
right.
thinking, now you may have been in the hospital, but you didn't die, okay? Because you're writing, and I don't know why people can't see through this garbage. It's just like, and they're all clicking like, yeah, and I'm like, oh God.
Right. You know what? That's a good point. I'm glad you said that, because there's a thing going on in the paranormal where they're bumping heads, because those that are going out and actually putting in the footwork and getting
Yeah,
these identities live on their camera, and they
right.
posting it up and making things. Then you got these other shows that are not quite legitimate. So now people are questioning those that are out there actually putting in the work, going out, to wherever it is that they're going, and getting these identities on their cameras and on their recorders. So there's a conflict there, because people are saying, well, that's not true, so they're trying to figure out now how they can fix that issue, because entertainment and them being realistic with what these paranormal people are doing, it's like two different things. You know what I mean?
Well, being realistic is boring as far as a producer or somebody trying to get sponsors or commercial payments to be able to have a program on television.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's too bad. I feel that the paranormal investigators, the real ones and the real teams, there are unsung heroes when it comes to the paranormal. A lot of people discount it, and they just grab onto these shows where they're running out of the building and just acting crazy and making a bad name for us. But it again, it sells advertisement, which is very sad. And so I'm all for the unsung hero and the hardworking paranormal people. With Hollywood Entertainment News, we do have the magazine online where people can, contact me if they've got a great paranormal article, and we vet it and fact check it, stuff like that. Then we can put it up for them. So it's not like a fly-by-night thing for the paranormal people. But, getting back to hey, I died and now I can see this. They're just trying to back up the point that they originally had about death, that they have to actually die to reinforce their point. And when none of it ever happened, it was like a made-up thing. It's just insanity. But hey, you got a lot of clicks on the like button, so I guess you might have made some headway. But then again, you can buy those too. So it's real.
You're also on a magazine that our friend Mickey Solar put you on the front page. I saw it. It looked amazing. You look really good.
Like that.
You look really good. You look really good on that page.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So what was that all about? How'd you get to the front page of that magazine?
I paid her $1 million.
Well, pay me $1 million. I'll put you on my front post. No, I'm only kidding.
No, we were contacting each other back and forth. We're friends on Facebook, and I love the things she posts. She's so adorable, and she's such a good person. And we decided that we would network and help each other as working women. And working women, I don't care what nationality, color, or creed you are, we always get shoved behind. And so we figured we'd join forces, and I would support her people and she'd support me. And we would have a nice, cohesive business relationship that way. And so far she's kept her word. I've kept my word. And
awesome.
It's all worked out wonderful. But she's got a fantastic magazine. Yeah. I mean, she's got so many different stars in there and people that are featured, and I just wish her the best always.
Yeah, and her and I became good friends as well. And I told her I can send her some of my some of my guests that been on my show, like Sandra
Yeah.
Johnson. You know, Sandy Johnson played in what's that movie she played in?
Halloween.
Halloween. Yes, she played in the Halloween 1978. She was the first
Yes.
Halloween.
Her and I are decent friends. We
Awesome, Sandy's amazing. I love Sandy.
yeah, I love her. We did Comic-Con together
Okay.
and took pictures together. And she gave me a positive statement for Hollywood Entertainment News, and it went over pretty big. She's a great woman, and her husband's fantastic too
Yeah.
because he travels with her,
Yeah.
and it just made it's just a nice, happy couple. You know,
Yeah.
no fake anything, just super real.
Yeah, and that's what I love about her, you know, and I want to hook Sandy with Mickey. So you also have 8 awards.
I have a lot of awards. I have
Well, I know
awards-
8 of them.
All right. a lot of the films that we did were IMDb qualified, which means IMDb said, "Hey, yeah, we'll support that." And so we're able to do that as far as the different films I was in. Also, a lot of the awards came from other film festivals that weren't IMDb qualified, which is nice. And as far as the paranormal awards, there are some people, they're all like, oh, because I did run the paranormal awards for a few years, they thought I gave them to myself. And I'm thinking, well, maybe if you just read the bio and the information about me, you would clearly see they had nothing to do with the awards. They're on different television shows and different things that I did. And I truly hope you don't do your paranormal, research the way that you would come out with, saying that I gave myself awards. All you have to do is, open your eyes, go there and actually read it.
Right.
Unless you don't know how to read. Well,
Right.
then again, you have to go to school.
Right.
Again and again and again.
Right. And tell me about your children's book. You have a children's book, right?
Yes, the children's book was I decided that I wanted to have a children's book doing hard-hitting subjects in a positive light, because not every situation is as it seems. It's only as what people think. So if we start out with, for instance, Dean is sad, and the gentleman, Billy Diamond, 3-time Emmy winner, he could be 4 times by now, good friend of mine, did the cover on that. Dean is sad is about this friend of Dean's screaming at him, very upset, calling him names, and Dean does not know why. And he's so sad and mad at this friend of his that he's just trying to get rid of him. No one will play with him. No one will anything with him. And so kind of almost like bullying. And so what actually happens in the book is me, dressed refinedly, of course, says, well, did you ask him to play with you before he got mad? He said, no. I said, well, maybe you should ask him to play. Maybe that is why he's mad. And when they asked Sam, the other dinosaur, to play with them, everyone got along and everything was fine. So positivity does save the day, even with children's books. You think it's a bullying situation when then you just find out the kid was just left out. Maybe you should have included him and everything would have been fine. So that's what those books are about in a nutshell.
That's awesome. That was with a 2-time Emmy Award winner Bill Diamonds, right?
Right. He's got 3 Emmys now. I think he possibly has 4.
Okay. Tell me about Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Batman. And these The Exorcist. Did you play in those films?
Well, I am a glorified extra. Every chance I get, through networking, of course. If they ask me, I do green screen work. I have a professional green screen. I got a 4K, 6K camera set up.
Awesome.
So I'm able to shoot at a level where they can use it. and I do bit movie parts like that in there. As far as The Exorcist goes, I was not part of the original Exorcist. That was before my time. Although I do know Linda Blair, and we have worked
Oh, she's
together
awesome.
and stuff. So, what I did was I took the original footage and Bishop files of an interview of Father Gallagher. Back right when The Exorcist came out, there was a gentleman, Bob Boyd, and another gentleman, Mike Siegel, went to Georgetown University and talked to Father Gallagher. And Father Gallagher was the professor of divinity that William Peter Blatty was his student. And so these bishop files are the actual files and witness accounts to the exorcisms they did. So William Peter Blatty took those files, combined several, and come up with The Exorcist, which was actually a boy, but because of Hollywood, they turned it into a girl, changed things. So what I did was I took the Exorcist movie and I took the actual bishop's files that I had on stored, and I was doing like back to back, like when they said in the movie, "You unclean spirits." I was able to get the bishop's file with Father Gallagher saying, "You unclean spirits." And so we were lucky enough to be able to have Warner Brothers purchase a little lease on that. And it went into the director's cut on the 40th anniversary of The Exorcist on Blu-ray DVD. So, and so that's another misnomer. Again, if people would actually take the time to read it, they'd realize it had nothing to do, well, it did have something to do with the actual movie, but it was more based on the actual bishop's files that Father Gallagher had in the interviews that were done by Mike Siegel and Bob Boyd.
Right, because for the people that never seen the movie, because I'm in that same era as you. I was young when I saw the movie when it came out, and I later found out that it was based on a true story of a kid out in Connecticut, out here where we're from, and it just blew my mind because at that point I didn't think that actually could happen or exist. Everything I see with the movie.
Again, we're going back to being hurt by a demon or whatever. Very, very rare. In order to have that exorcism through the Catholic Church, you have to have witness statements. People that were there that saw it. Sometimes 50, 60 people would witness different episodes, and they would write about it, and then they'd be considered for an exorcism. Nowadays, you got demonologists coming out of the freaking woodwork. And like, okay, what demon you killing now? I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. I understand that to be a demonologist or to perform an exorcist, this was done by a layman in the community, and then it graduated up to the church itself conducted them. And those are religious exorcisms. And then you have people like Hans Holder who would do a non-religious exorcism, which many people actually go and do now. I just say make sure when you're culling your information on people who say they're possessed, maybe there's something else going on. It could be, medication. It could be electric frequencies near their house. It could be a CO2 meter. It could be anything that may not just be a demon, but giving you effects and hallucinations, because you have to be spot on. Because if you're there waving around, a wand and holy water, how's that going to correct the problem? Somebody could really be suffering mentally and physically that they need, medical care. So that's why it's so important to be able to know how to do your job when it comes to paranormal research. Again, my example, go read the information instead of coming up with an assumption and then passing that along as fact when it's not true. And so that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, because, because when people see stuff like that and they're not educated with the paranormal or demons or exorcists, and they see someone acting abnormal, the first thing that can come to their mind is, "Oh, this kid is sick," you know, or he got problems, you
Mhm.
know, and not knowing the signs of, you know, of a person being, um, having exorcism in them, So, how do you know? Like, how do you sit back and say, well, it's not that he's abnormal or he's sick. It's a demonic identity
Well,
that he has in him.
again, it's extremely rare, but it is possible because we see these things, and I reference the bishop's files with all of the people witnessing this,
Wow.
But I would definitely, if it were me performing this, I would make sure that all the T's were, crossed and the I's were dotted, all medical information that they want to reveal to you for medical checkups, what medication they're taking, do they need medication, and what do they need the medication for? And also a complete examination of the home itself, like the CO2 content and what kind of like wiring do you have? Is it excessive? Do you live near like a power plant? Do you have, these big wires that you've seen the power lines. You
Yes.
have to find out, do you have mold in the house? I mean, there are a whole bunch of things that they have to really look into first before they can say, hey, it's a demon. Because it could be suffering psychologically or effects of medication which are not taken properly. Or another thing is the 15 minutes of fame and the Munchimers by proxy, where people say their kids are getting scratched, by demons, and it just could be their cat. So these things have happened and have been proven to happen, and it's sad because it gives the paranormal and the true investigators and the people in the trenches a bad name. They
Right.
really need to do their homework first.
Right. And I agree. I agree with that because I got several friends of mine that have gone on investigations and have gone scratched, and they show the scratches,
Mhm.
that they have gotten to identities, and homes and cemeteries that they went
Oh,
to.
sure. Oh, I believe that, but I have a little bone of contention with that. Is a ghost or spirit does not have fingernails to scratch you with. So where are you getting the marks from? You're getting the marks because when we use our equipment, we are looking for elevations in, like electronic field meter. Or a heat meter. We're looking for elevations in temperatures.
Right.
Extremely, extremely hot, like a laser when they do an operation, but maybe
Mhm.
not that hot, but you're getting cut. So that's what we're looking for. Also, go to the other spectrum when it's super, super cold. All of a sudden, you get a wicked dip. Then you get a
Mhm.
scratch. That could also be from extreme cold where it irritates the skin, wherever that spirit might have been. So I don't really, I guess I say scratches too, but that's the explanation for it. They don't have fingernails. It's energy doing it.
Okay. All right. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, thank you.
It does.
That's
It
why
just
I'm the
does.
queen of the paranormal. That's
Right.
why.
Because I was thinking for a second, I'm like, wait a minute, a scratch. Like, how do you scratch someone?
I
Being
think you
on your
just got a little bit too close to that spirit that just either didn't like you or was just so in your face because they did like you.
right.
Um, you know,
So what? So tell me, what do you enjoy about it the most of
the
the paranormal?
paranormal.
Yes. What do you enjoy
Um,
the most?
I guess the intrigue,
Mm,
um, the heart beating intrigue,
yes.
whether it's daytime or nighttime. You get to learn every single time you go out, learn something new. Use all your senses, your ears, your eyes, your nose, taste. You can taste things. Use your equipment. And you always, if you use all of these things into one package, you're always going to get some fantastic results. It's amazing. And those are the results, like when you use your senses and stuff. You can't capture that on camera. Can you capture a goosebump on camera when it's
No.
happening? Can you capture something pulled a strand of your hair. No, a smell. You can't capture that on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Or a touch somewhere, possibly inappropriately. You can't capture that on camera. But these things are real and they're happening. And so that's what really intrigues me, is going out and sensing and hopefully backing it up with my equipment.
Right.
The paranormal. It's just amazing. It never gets dull. It never gets old.
It never, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
Because there's answers that are not, I mean, questions that need answers, and everyone is seeking for those answers.
Right. And hopefully someday we'll be able to find them. I know, and I've said it on a million interviews, 98% of it is a bunch of BS. It can go to hell in a handbag. It's the 2% that the real investigators and real teams go and look for. And that's the hard to come by stuff. And that's what needs to be,
Exposed, I would say.
Exposed and nailed down, so we can have some facts there with it. But like I said, it's always intriguing. It's never old. It's very exciting. And it's exciting to bring somebody with you that hasn't been on an investigation. They just watch TV, because then they'll be able to really feel it. I know when I do the Comic-Cons and I work with a lot of celebrities, we sometimes get together, behind the scenes, after hours, and goof around in our rooms with doing EVPs or the dowsing rods. And I use dowsing rods without those little sheaths on them, so you can actually like feel them move. And people love that. But and they're like amazed. They're going, "This is nothing like a TV show." I said, "Yeah, what we're doing is 100% real.
Yes, right.
We're not doing it for a sponsor or to buy advertising. Yeah. We're doing it. It's real." And they're amazed at the difference. But what really gets them is like all of a sudden they become believers when they weren't believers. Because if why are you feeling this? What's going on? I got pressure on my chest. My knees are weak. The dowsing rods are going around. The meters are going crazy. And how is this happening?
Right.
So
and
it's a lot of fun.
And the presence of you feeling something there, and you cannot see it.
That's right.
That's the most scariest thing for me. Be like, I know there's something here. I just can't see it.
Yeah, you can't. And you and I since you live so close, we have to get together, and do something. Funny. Yeah, it's wonderful, and I do love the paranormal, but I love also doing positive messages with celebrities instead of like, old gossip. This a celebrity walking down the street with a diaper on, everyone's laughing. I don't go for that. I like to celebrate, the stars of the golden years and keep everything on a positive note. Yes. I support Operation Mobility, which is we support veterans like all over the world. Mm-hmm. Operation Mobility is part of this movie we're doing called This Van. And this van is going to be a van fully equipped for a veteran that we're going to be giving away. And that's part of the 360 Studios LTD. It's also part of the Veterans Green Initiatives program. And through that, there's books that we do for the veterans. One is Capone's story, which is an absolutely fantastic book. You're going to have to read about that. We're doing an interview with the gentleman that wrote that book.
Yes.
Capone's Battle. And it took place during the Korean War. And the guy who was in the war was M.L. Capone, and he was a chaplain, which I'm a chaplain as well. And he saved a lot of people, and he died through torture because he wouldn't give in, and because of his death, others lived. It's a fantastic book, a fantastic story that has to be told, and so we're doing an interview on that. So that's what makes Hollywood Entertainment News very special to my heart. I'm able to open it up to veterans. I'm opening it up to books, different movies, different movie stars, all on a positive note, and that's what's extremely important. to
That's
me.
amazing.
So we got the paranormal, and then we have the normal. No, I don't think it's.
I love it. You know, it's amazing. I got paranormal investigators on here right now watching Brian Lavrati being the CEO and founder of Parapost Network.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's also an actor as well as as I
Wow.
am and you are
Well,
as
maybe we
well.
want him on Hollywood Entertainment News. Tell him to check me out
Yeah, I
and
will.
message me.
Yeah, he will. And so it's interesting that you've done so many things in your life, and and the paranormal is something that you still love to do and investigate. I mean, because people after a while they do get into so many things. Some of the things that you used to do, you kind of like put away and get into new things. But you've been doing this for a long, long time.
Yes, I have, and I've watched people, and I know people are not going to like what I'm going to say, but they never do. I look at it this way: you got people that they love the paranormal, and they get so involved, they buy all the equipment until their wife or spouse says no more, and then they decide they're going to go after Bigfoot. So it goes like a progression. And from Bigfoot, they get in a spaceship and they're gone. And from there, you never hear from them anymore. It's like bim, bim,
Right.
bim, poop, gone. It's like, so
Yeah.
why, were you really an enthusiast? Did you really like these things? Or did you like them because at the time they seemed to be chic and the thing to do?
Right.
Instead of gravitate from this one, the next one, the next one. I like the paranormal. And as far as UFOs and Bigfoot, I don't know. I mean, we don't have an answer to a lot of things. And
Right.
so, I would just think with all this technology and everything, you should be able to catch a Bigfoot or something. But then again, maybe you're not in the same, area that they are in, because even now, the sea creatures and different animals that they're finding that they thought were extinct for thousands of years. So
Yes.
very well could be there is something there.
Right. And I agree. I've been seeing that the ice wall is starting to melt, so a lot of the creatures are starting to cross over to this side. That's why
Right.
we're seeing a lot of strange animals
Yes,
on
exactly.
this side.
And the
Um,
same thing could be, for Bigfoot. We
yes,
we don't know. Things
right.
are evolving all the time. And as far as UFOs, same thing. If they think there's some kind of life out there, which they're stating now, well, why would there be something to carry that life around?
Right. And it's just so many questions, and you're never right and you're never wrong,
Yeah.
because we're all looking for the same, I guess, for the same answer. And as far as UFOs, I do believe there's something out there.
Mhm.
Because the first sighting for me was, they said it was in 1954.
Right.
1954, we didn't have technology like we do today.
No, we
So
didn't.
so the statement that the government gave was, it was a flinch, something wrong with we know we didn't have computers then. So it was iffy with with their statement, and knowing that some of the people that were there, that used to work for NASA, that excuse me, that quit, and and then came on live and said what they saw inside, you know, inside NASA. They were seeing like aliens walking from one door to another. So
Yeah.
can I believe it? Do I believe it? Yes. And do I believe it? No, because I didn't see it for myself. So
Yep. Well, that's the whole thing. That's called
yeah,
leap of faith. You
yes,
either, believe it or you don't.
right,
So, but then again, there's so many coincidences, when it comes to the paranormal, with seeing things, hearing things, smelling things. You don't know. You just have to kind of know what to look for. I know when people come to me, whether it's, through a Skype conversation or when I do appear at the Comic Cons or do events, they come and sit with me and we will do a reading or we'll do a discussion. And then I can sit and tell them, well, what you were experiencing could very well be a spirit. You just weren't looking for the signs. They were there all along.
Mm.
As slight as the hair being pulled, or the hairs on your cheek being touched. You
Yeah.
can't see that, but you can feel it with your body.
Right.
So you just and don't say, oh, maybe, but
Right.
those are signs that people should look out for.
Right. Like for me, as far as Bigfoot, I'm a big fan of Bigfoot since I was a kid, and I've been, looking up a few people that do research on Bigfoot, and they have found footsteps. They found some hair. They hear the
Mhm.
howling noise. The
Sure.
wood knocking. Okay, I get all that. Now we've been after this monster for years, and like you said, no one has captured a Bigfoot. Why? The answer: why? Are they not going deep enough into the woods? Are they not looking in the right places where they can be? And to me, I'm thinking caves or underground, because they're very smart species. They're smart,
Mhm.
so they want to stay away from the people. But where do they go? And you find these footprints. You're following them, and all of a sudden they disappear. So now, are they something connected to the UFO? Could it be something? Could it be like a gateway that they're going through and coming through? Like, we don't know this.
No, we don't. But you brought up a good point, and I thought of it too. Is they're not going deep enough. You got to remember, we're human beings. How far are we going to trek into the wilderness? One thing, we don't want to get lost. If Wi-Fi is not available, you could get lost. And how far are you going to go? You have a team of people. Okay, you need food. You need water. You need the sustenance, to survive, to
Right.
make the trek in, and to do something. Then you got the camera crew on top of it all, unless you're doing most of the filming yourself. But still, the camera equipment is sensitive, and so you don't want to be, out in the rain, the humidity. Maybe it's
Yeah.
wicked cold. I mean, there are things you can do that maybe. If people, I'm not going to say parachute them somewhere, but
Right.
if they could get to a location, I saw a show, I can't remember the name of it, where they were trapping furs, and the gentleman took a plane. He lived in Alaska, and he took a plane to the wilderness in Alaska, and he
Mm.
had like a makeshift airstrip there for himself,
Yeah.
and he'd be there for about 3 months. Maybe in that situation, if they could get a hold of that guy and have him fly there and leave them there,
Right.
then fine. But then you got people who are used to the Wi-Fi, their cell phone, and TikTok, and so to be living in a cabin for 3 months, they wouldn't know how to do. They'd be fish out of water. So yeah, you have to go deep enough to be able to find something
Yes.
in their own element,
Right.
and that's why I'm backing you up with that, as far as maybe they haven't gone deep enough, and
Right.
it is there, but they just and they're smart, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah. So because maybe going deep enough, and they know that we don't go that deep, they walk freely. They
Yeah,
feel, well, we don't have to hide now because we're deep in here. They don't come in just deep. Um,
that's true. And I think of these forest fires and all of that, saying maybe it killed some.
yeah.
You can't elude everything.
Right.
Eventually, they'll find them, and we'll be able to, see for sure. It's just like, we have moose around here in New Hampshire. I've
Yeah.
never found a dead one in the woods. I've never
Right.
found a dead bear, a dead deer, a dead anything like
Right.
like that. Well, sometimes the bones, but so if you have a dead, Bigfoot or Sasquatch, I'm sure that'll all be dragged away by other animals and things like that. That's why we can't even find the bones. You
Right.
know.
Or maybe they have their own site where they bury their own. You know, they
Well,
have a
that
place where,
that could be too. Maybe they're more human than we know.
exactly, and it's just, to me, it's just it amazes me to know all these things are out there, and I don't have access to get to none of these things, you know, especially Bigfoot. You know, I've always wanted to go to New Hampshire, to go to the border of Canada and New Hampshire, because I heard that's a red uh it's the place where they be, you know, and I wanted to
Well,
take.
exactly, because you'd have to go very deep in the woods to get to that border. And once you get to that border, don't cross it. You know, there could be massive trouble. And if they're more human than we think, they may already know that, and that's where they are.
Right. You know, I think when they do come near us, towards us, I think they're coming in to learn more about us instead of just coming there to, you know, whatever people might think, scare them or kill people. I think they're
I don't
intelligent.
think so.
I think they're intelligent enough to come down and just trying to see, well, let's see what these humans do, how they move, how they operate.
Right. And also, like, what are they up to now? Like,
Yeah.
where their location, how far are they, like, approaching
Yeah.
our territory? What's their
Mhm.
next move? You know, so they can, like we said again, if they're more human than we think, then they're going to be able to plan their next move as well, as to where they're going to hide, migrate, wherever.
Right. And you know, I've seen a lot of documentary on it, and people found, because they're smart, you know, they build like nests. You know, I see them build nests where you can see someone who was laying there
Right.
or sleeping there. So they smart animals, you know. But I've always wanted to go investigate and see if I see one. You know, I don't have to be close. It can be far, because I'm a scary guy. Let me tell you, when it comes to the paranormal Bigfoot, I'm scared. Okay, but
I think you have to be in really good physical condition to be able to take an excursion like that, an
yeah,
adventure like that,
yeah,
because it's so many miles in. You know, it would be easier to climb Mount Everest. You know, to where you've got to go to be, and put up the different cameras. You know, or GoPros, and then back off.
right. And you know,
That would be
it'll
an
be
idea.
difficult for a human like you and I to go into it in there that deep, because we're not equipped like they are to run through those woods, you know,
Yeah.
and run through trees and break branches and jump over. You know, these things are over like 8 feet. You know, I've heard 8 9 feet tall and real broad, so they can move in that forest or in that place.
Listen, I'm good with anything as long as I have a cup of coffee in the morning. If I have the coffee, I'll be good. You know, other than that, listen, I could win a war if I didn't have my
Oh,
coffee.
you are funny. You are funny. Oh wow. So, what advice would you give anyone that would want to get into the say the filming industry? Um, what advice would you give them?
For the film industry,
Yeah.
I would say put your sights on what you actually want to do. Do you want to film? Do you want to direct? Do you want to be a producer? Do you want to be in front of the camera? Do you want to be like an extra? I love doing extra work. I mean, you get put on everything. It's so terrific. But what do you want to actually do? Do you want to write scripts? Do you want to be a photographer? There or a crew member? Put your sights on what you want to do and do your homework. If there's courses you can take those. But also remember that networking and being good and kind and being someone that they can depend on will go a heck of a long way in the industry.
I
If
see.
you think you're going to be Cecil, you know, B. DeMills off the bat, forget it. That's like being a paranormal star off the bat. It's not happening. It's like garage band being Led Zeppelin. Okay, that's not happening. you have to, you've got to, you know, really think what you want to do. And there's no stopping you. This is America. You can do and become anything you want. You know,
Amen.
that's why we're here. So if someone says, no, I don't think you can do it, no, yes, you can do it.
That's right.
Put your heart and soul in it. Very hard work, very competitive. But you can do it because there are a lot of films, whether they're independent or SAG films, that you can join on, with a particular skill that you've been schooled in. Like I say, directing, or you want to run a camera, or you want to do the producing, or an executive producer. Or you want to own a movie company. There are so many elements when it comes to the film industry. It's a big business, and there is money to be made. You
Right.
just have to stick with it and network, because they're not going to come to you. You have to go to them.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that, because I stress that all the time on my show when I talk about people that want to get into the industry, because they think it's not as easy as people think. And for me, in my opinion, 99% of the time of you getting a gig or getting into a good place, it's networking.
Absolutely. And
Networking.
yeah, and I've worked with people that are extremely talented, but they're high maintenance. Put it that way. I would rather take someone who's a little less skilled, let's say in acting, that's very easy to work with.
Okay.
It'll get you more mileage, because you're looking at a liability situation. If you're dealing with somebody extremely high maintenance, who may be fabulous in front of the camera,
Right.
but you're running a risk there. So you have to take risk assessment to decide, what you want to do with particular people you work with and network with as well. Take that risk assessment, do a little research. Are they easy to get along with? Are they, being a 16-year-old in the schoolyard with every post they write? These are very important things, because they'll call you to the mat with what you write. If you're positive and good, then that's the people you want to work with in the film industry and in the paranormal too.
Yes.
You don't want them complaining about everything and calling this one out or that one out. Where does it get you? It gets you nobody wants to work with you because you're a troublemaker.
Right. And you're right. And you're right. You're right. And it's been happening within the paranormal world, with my brother Brian and Matt, that have these platforms for paranormal investigators to come join, meet each other, and talk about certain situations, how they can progress their shows, and what types of devices they can use and upgrade to make their shows better and bring more stuff for the people. And I see, and I see it. I see the BS going back and forth. Some people, and going at each other, and it's not cool. It's not cool. And if you're in a page for the wrong reasons, then you shouldn't even be there.
Well, true. And I sometimes wonder if it is because they're so sensitive to the paranormal that they really are emotionally sensitive anyways. I wonder about that theory. I think it might be true, because they have a tendency to fly off the handle and call, just there's no reason for that, to call people out like that. People get sued for less. So if I see stuff like that going on, I don't even bother with them. I don't reply to the messages or whatever. I just delete them, block them.
That's what I do.
It's not worth it.
It's not. And I'm glad you said that, because I done seen situations on some of the pages that I be on, and this has been happening with certain groups. And I just don't see why it's happening when we're all trying to.
Exactly. We should be united, working for a particular cause to find the realism in the paranormal and to find that evidence of the paranormal. And when people are attacking each other and being more like a competition, it's not a competition. It should never be a competition.
Never.
You know, it should be a working together and pushing, I like to call it the product forward.
Right.
That's researchers, scientists, everybody, doctors, policemen, they all get together, whether they're writing, you know, medical journals or whatever, to push the field that they are participating in
That's right.
further, instead of having like this competition stuff. If when I see that, I just that I want to and it's funny because people, you know, they want me to do paracons and all of that. I haven't done a paracon in 10 years. I do pop culture events. I'll do comic cons because I'm trying to take the paranormal, not just like I always say, like, you know, you can only sing so much to the choir, you won't get out of the church. So I
Right.
got out of the church and
Yeah.
I'm talking and doing other things. So I'm more
That's right.
suited for that with the comic books and, you know, and movies and things. So I do that. But I have found that I think paranormal cons are fabulous. People get together, they're able to you know, share their stories, their products, and talk about stuff. But when the competition, the competitiveness comes in, and this one's fighting that one, we're adults. We left school a long time ago.
Okay.
We leave it back there.
That's right. 100%. But you know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of us haven't grown up. You know, so what's your next step? What are you working on now?
Getting $1 million.
Yeah, I'm on that. I'm on the same page you're on. Okay.
Oh my God. I got like 3 projects I can't talk about.
Right. Are
But
they films? Are they films or what are those?
well, some are films and some are not. They're like TV series and things.
Okay.
Now that you know, the SAG strike is over,
Yes,
we're
thank God.
able to get back to work. So there's a lot of projects that are on deck now
Awesome.
that we're doing. And as far as Hollywood entertainment news, that is just growing leaps and bounds. And
Wow.
again, when I got the article in from Hollywood 411 that I was in the top 50 in the world, that's
Ooh.
3.02 million shows, and I was in the top 50. I was number 36.
Oh,
And
wow.
and I'm trying. Megan Kelly, the conservative radio host, she was 37. So I was really happy with that. I'm like,
Okay.
wow, look, people actually watch me. I must be saying something good.
Hey, yeah, you're doing something right.
It's all positive. That's what it is. All positive and
Yes.
and all for the veterans.
Yeah, you know, I take my hat off for you for the veterans because you know these individuals do, you know, put their lives on the line for not just us but for their families and for our country.
Absolutely. And
And
that's
to
what,
come and to
go
come
ahead.
home and be treated the way they are treated, I don't think it's fair. In my eyes, I think they deserve more than what the government is doing for them. I truly do believe that they deserve much, much more than that.
I'm very happy for the groups that support the veterans and do things like Wounded Warrior or the Veterans Green Initiative projects. All of that. What it should be is it should be our government taking care of these veterans. They promised they would, but then they don't. Or they don't enough. So you have all these other individual nonprofits coming in to help, which is fabulous. I mean, I'm a chaplain and I work with drug and alcohol veterans, the young ones, whether they're wanting to go back, you know, into rehab, or they don't want to go home, or they don't have a home.
Right.
So I do that free of charge. I do it a couple times a week. I take my family with me and we all counsel and listen. And mainly it's just listening. You know, if you have somebody listen to you, You know, you don't have to give money. Just sit and
Right.
have a conversation. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And to have a list of places that they can turn to, which is really important. That's
Yeah.
wonderful too. I know I support the veterans too, and I talk about coffee because I really do like it. I only have that 1 cup a day, but it's a big damn cup. Oh no, mine's twice that size. It's got murder on it. It says murder. My daughter got it for me. It's the equivalent of 2 cups of coffee in 1 cup. So I am like high on caffeine when I'm done.
Oh my goodness, you on a go.
But I drink the Veterans Green coffee. So veteransgreencoffee.com. I do a lot of their bumper commercials, and where the money goes to the veterans, I do those for free, and they send me coffee. It works out wonderful.
It works out for you. It works out for you.
But the veterans is so close to my heart. My son's a veteran, and we come from a family of veterans. My husband's a veteran, and yeah, it's without them, where would we be? Really, think about that.
Exactly.
Throughout the world, where would we be? So we owe them a debt of gratitude.
Yes, we owe them, not the government, but them, our gratitude, because I have friends that are in military, and sometimes we talk, and I ask them, "Hey, why do you even know why you were there?" And the answers I get, I'd be like, "Man, you're lost in the sauce, kid. You have no idea why you're there. This is what they're telling you you're there for, but you're actually not there for that. You're there for something else." And
exactly.
The fact that they can sit there and lie to these individuals, these soldiers, and have them supposedly fight for us, but they're actually fighting for them, for the elites, to keep whatever they have in power, to keep that, and then have to put the screen in front of the soldiers and say, "No, we're going to war because of this, because of that." So now we're focused on, we're going to do this because these country did this to our people, but it's actually it's another story behind it, and I think that's sad, and then they send them home.
Yeah, I think miscommunication, like whether it's with the veterans or paranormal, it's really sad. People should just say the truth, but even if you have to say it in a palatable manner, color it up a bit, but don't lie. Sometimes you can just tell someone to stick it with the F word,
Or just by the look, just give them a look. Right?
Yeah, really. And then, or you could just say, that just doesn't jive with what I do, and I'm not going to accept that or those words you're saying to me.
Right.
Then get off internet and then start yelling F you, F you. But nobody hears you, so it's okay, you're in the clear.
Right. It's amazing. What you're doing, and I admire everything that you're doing for the paranormal, for the people, especially for the veterans.
Thank you.
And I would love to bring you back to the show in the future and talk more about other things that you might have going on that you might want to promote.
Sure.
We can do that here as well. And if you would like to be on other talk shows, I can also make that happen as well.
Yay!
Just to expose you to other platforms. Mike, I don't know if you know Mike Wagner. He has a phenomenal show as well.
I know Mike, and I have been friends for years. I've been on his show, and I've done PR articles for him. I'm also, a lot of people don't know, I'm a content provider for quite a few celebrity magazines, illustrations, Newsbreak on your cell phone, things like that. I have a huge client list. I work with a lot of Comic-Cons, and I do a lot of their press. So I'm constantly in touch with different people. Mike Wagner's one of them.
Yeah, Mike Wagner, I love him. That's my buddy. Yeah. Mike Wagner, Jimmy Starr, Rebecca Mahan.
Oh, I know Jimmy Starr. Oh gosh,
Jimmy.
In fact, Jimmy Starr Ron Russell, his husband, Eileen Shapiro, the rock and roll journalist. She's fabulous. We are called Celebrity Ghost Hunters. And
Really?
we did our first show together. It was like 8 years ago or something, where Jimmy was filming us. Eileen did a story about us, and Jimmy put it up on the internet, and it went viral within one day. One day, bam, it was everywhere. And then we took that story and we made a comic book out of it called Celebrity Ghost Hunters. And we're going to be doing another one now, too. So,
that's amazing. You see how small world, right?
Yes, it is. It's a very small world, but they are, I'll tell you, I love them all. I do. I keep in contact with all my friends, as I will with you. And
Thank you, likewise.
yeah, so we can network and really get some things going. And yeah.
You know, I think.
Hey, Ron. Hi, Eileen.
Hi, guys. You know, this is amazing. And this is why I love to do my show, is because I bring amazing people like yourself that know other people that I know, you know, and together we can create something beautiful, you know, not just for us, but for the people like the veterans and, you know, and so on, other people out there that need help. Because the more we create this community we're trying to build, the more we can expand and help people. I'm about helping people. I'm about uplifting people, connecting people. You know, and nothing in return, because I don't get paid for what I do. I do this from the bottom of my heart, you know, to bring people here, know about them, connect them, you know, because I do know a lot of people as well. So whatever I can do to help someone's career uplift, then that's what I do.
Oh, you sound just like me. In fact, I've been saying, you know, for years that, you know, I'm dedicated to helping people achieve their goals. And that's, you know, what Mickey and I talk about. And Jimmy's well aware of that. Jimmy Starr, of course. And but yeah, I try my best. And that's why I admire you for what you're doing as far as the paranormal, having these different shows and helping each other within the shows to progress and go forward. And some people will resist and make fun. But for the most part, if you're doing it from your heart, you're doing the right thing, then the heck with them. You know, just keep doing it, because you are going to benefit people with what you're doing.
And that's exactly my point. You know, it's not about me. It's not about my show. It's about my guests, you know, because I know where I want to go. I know where I'm pushing to, you know, so sometimes I get guests that are very talented, but don't have the avenue, don't know where to go. And if I can be if I can be that light for them and say, well, I'm gonna direct you to the right path, and I'm gonna connect you to the right people. Now it's up to you to stand your ground. And it's been working. You know, I've connected a couple people, and they're working together, and it's amazing. And because of it, all I get in return is the blessings, you know, and I'm okay with that, because of the blessings, doors open for me. You know, I wanted to become an actor. Now I'm in my fifth film.
Well, wow, great.
Yeah, one's a TV series. It's not out yet. It's called Pagan. And that's in the works right now. So, you know, to me, when I help someone and I put someone or direct them to the right path, it's funny, but this feeling I get in my soul, in my body, it's something of joy. You know, it's like I did something good, you know, and then the blessings come in.
Yeah, it's good to help people, you know. That's what we do here as a family. We're out with the chaplain services, and I also do animal rescue. So I'm out, you know, helping the animals and stuff. In fact, I've got an animal right over here behind me, but you can't. Oh my
God! Say hi, Kadrolsha.
Hi,
hi, Mama.
Cute.
Her name is Mama.
Oh, how sweet! How adorable! My God.
She's cute, right?
Yeah, what a
Yeah, she's
precious
awesome.
little pea.
Hmm.
Mine are in the other room because they will try to get on the desk. They'll try to get on. They're huge, but I do have a little Boston Terrier. So I'd have him on my lap. He'd block my face, and the other two try to get on my lap. It's
Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
So Brian Lavardi, good friend of mine, he said he sent you a friend request.
Yes, I saw that. It come up.
Okay.
Boop. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brian is he's an amazing guy. He like I said, he is the founder of Parapost Network, CEO of it. He's a great guy. Um, and he's worked very hard to put this um platform together for the paranormal uh investigators worldwide to come together as a family and kind of like, talk situations over and see what else they can come up with, ideas to how to make their show better or even their investigations better as
I
far
think
as
that
getting.
I think that's key to be able to help them make their investigations better. It's
Yeah,
always a learning experience, and if you can steer them clear through, from some pitfalls, that is wonderful.
yeah, awesome. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. You're amazing. You're
Thank
a
you.
wonderful person. Don't change who you are. You're fabulous. And
Thank you.
yes, and I'm glad you're from my side of the city. Hey,
Yeah, wow.
hey,
This
hey,
means we're actually going to have some fun.
you
we'll
know,
leave, we'll leave cell phones at home. We don't want pictures of that stuff.
yeah. So, you want to send any shout outs to anyone before we log off?
Well, I would like to shout out to obviously my family. I love you dearly. I think shout out to Mickey Solar. I love her dearly. I want to say hello, Paula Quest. He is my security. And a long
Okay.
story. Next show, I can talk about security
Okay. Yeah,
and
we
the
did.
reasons why. And
Right.
also my dearest friend Vincent. He is a terrific gentleman. I always say shout out to him because they're so loyal and they watch the shows like that. So, and also everyone from 360 TVN, love you madly, and Hugh Wynn. And he's a fantastic investment individual, great to talk to, and a good heart, very positive person.
Okay.
I think I got everybody. I don't know.
So when will we see Kadrolsha in the next film?
I'm not sure. Well, okay. I'm actually right now, believe it or not, filming, and that I can't talk about. I feel
Okay.
so bad. I
No, it's
really feel
fine.
so bad. But then again, we still have, we're still doing interviews for Hollywood Entertainment News. I want more articles on the paranormal, and I want to be able to feature people for Spotlight on the Paranormal, and really, get that aspect going. We also have another comic book coming out, myself, and a movie based on that, which I can't talk about. God, I hate all this stuff. Coming to the new year, it's
NDA.
like crazy. The NDAs are nuts,
They're off
but
the
you
hook.
abide by them because you can get in really bad legal trouble if you don't. People
Right.
have big mouths and they just think, "Oh, I got an NDA," and then they go spill the beans. It's like, oh no, don't
Yeah.
spill it this way.
Let's put it this way, right? So it's
Yeah,
good that I'm glad that Brian came out because he can probably help you out on that side of you needing information about the paranormal. Maybe you guys can talk and figure something out. And he can give you more information on that.
sure.
Maybe help you out. So
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. And
yeah,
same thing too. I don't mind helping him and you and other
yeah,
people you send to me,
awesome.
whether it's for advice or a little PR piece or something.
Okay, cool, no problem. Well, thank you for coming aboard.
Thank you.
Um, I know you're working. Looks like you're working. So I'm gonna let you get back to working. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Mickey
Don. I
Solar,
appreciate
for the
it.
connection. Thank you, Mickey. I love you. Thank you so much. Brian, do connect with her, and hopefully you guys can come up with some great ideas and something fabulous. And
Okay.
okay, so I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for coming on the show.
Bye.
Ciao. Yes, folks, that is Kadrolsha Ona Carole. She's amazing. Folks, thank you, Mickey Sola, for this amazing guest. Listen, folks, this is what it's all about. It's about connecting with people, connecting people with other people. Brian, I'm thankful that you came on so I can make this great connection. And you did send her a friend request. That's awesome. Hope you guys can get some stuff going on, rolling on the ball. And yeah, folks, tune in for some other great guests that I'm talking to right now. Directors, producers, actors as well, that I'm lining up to come on the show on a couple weeks from now. No problem, Brian. No problem. That's what I'm here for, baby. This is what I do, Brian. It's what I do. Connect. I am the connector. I'm Don Vic the connector, okay? This is what I do, and I love doing it because I say this all the time. It's not about me. It's not about the show. It's about the people. It's about you guys. And if I can do anything or connect anyone to you guys that can help your show, can help you, can help your career get better, and I can do that, then I'm all for it, because, again, it's the blessings that I'm after, the blessings. And it seems like the more I help, the more blessings I get. I get to meet amazing people like you guys to come on the show and get interviews. So I really appreciate you, Brian. Thank you for having me on your Power Post Network platform. I really appreciate that. Instead of the Terminator, I am the connector. Yes, I am. Yes, Brian. And Brian, you and I, Matt, and has sat down. We spoke about this. This is big to us as far as uplifting each other and watching each other grow, and and as long as we continue to work like this, connecting each other and helping each other, I think that we'll be okay. We got the great people that view our shows, that connect with us, and that they love what we do. They're also a part of this, so I'm glad that we connected and we're doing what we said we was going to do. Versus a lot of people that said they were going to do what we're doing. I don't see them doing it, but that's out of my hand. I don't worry about what everybody else I do. I worry about what I'm doing, and what I do for other people. That's all I care about, and so I'm glad you guys connected, and I hope something comes out of that. You know what I mean? And again, if I can help you in anything, Brian, if I can do it, it's done. You know what I mean? Because that's just the way I am. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching Kadrolsha today here on the show. Thank you guys. And for those of y'all that are on YouTube that I can't see your comments, thank you guys so much for tuning in and showing her support and supporting the show as well. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Ditto. This is how funny Brian can be. Ditto. Okay. So, thank you guys for watching. You guys been great. Make sure you guys tune into the Power Post Network page, Global Ghost Hunt as well. T. Raff, the Queen, and Paranormal Consultant show, okay, on the paranormal side. All right, there's a great shows. You guys can tune in and check it out. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for tonight, and tune in for my next show. Should be soon, and I'll see you guys on another day. Peace, love, respect. Y'all already know the vibes. I'm out of here.
Never stop, forget it. it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, don't get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.